Stop being a victim in one easy lesson. Good morning, viewers. That's our topic for today. Join me and Bonnie as we take a stroll from the south end of Patong Beach today. And what I'm going to share is probably going to be a little bit provocative for some of you. I had an interesting hour yesterday afternoon with a former colleague. She was really struggling with a self-worth issue. Now, fortunately, we made some really meaningful progress in the session, and she sent me a message later to say thank you. She's feeling much lighter in herself. So that's a great outcome. But the experience stimulated me to think about how we approach problems. Problems in business, problems in finance, in relationships, in health, in careers, and problems in life. And I want to offer up a perspective for you to think about. Not fleetingly, not on the periphery of your attention, but really think about this question. But first, how'd you like an ongoing supply of essential reports, tips, must-have resources, and 100% free of charge downloads for business owners and leaders worldwide? Too easy. Just take a quick moment to subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon. Then I promise you'll never miss out again. Now, where is that amazing puppy gone? I think she wants to go the other direction. She's way over here. So, I do want you to sit back and think about this. Right at the most fundamental level, I encourage you to consider this question. Is a problem really a problem? We're so conditioned to facing problems, dealing with problems, overcoming problems, that we don't ever think about our presupposition that this is actually a problem in the first place. For a long time, I took pride in my ability to solve problems, especially if nobody else could. My ego flourished when a problem was around. It was my opportunity to flex my mental muscles and shine. And then, in one short sentence, one of my teachers, the incomparable Byron Katie, completely popped my bubble with a perfectly constructed statement. And she's well known for this quote. Some of you might be familiar with it. It goes like this: nothing happens to me, everything comes for me. That simple sentence, nothing happens to me, everything comes for me, turned my entire world on its axis. I was familiar, as I'm sure you are, with the idiom, every cloud has a silver lining, but I never deeply considered it. So as Byron Katie says, nothing happens to me. If I consider that, and if I accept it as one of my foundational beliefs, then immediately, I can no longer be a victim of anyone or anything. It completely changes the narrative. That changes my perception, which changes my feeling, which changes my experience. Hey Bonnie, you're making a new friend. Hello puppy. That does not mean that unfortunate or what we might call bad or negative things don't happen to people. It does mean that one is equipped to process and experience those events from a very different place. For example, have you ever heard someone say, the government did this, the government didn't do that, my husband said this, my wife did that, my boss was mean, my kids, my neighbor, the police, the economy, and on and on. When someone says those things, they aren't operating from a place of power. They are in victimhood. And they're unconsciously handing over their power to people, organizations, and events. And they're setting themselves up with a collection of stories to evidence how poorly life is treating them and how hard done by they are. Contrast that with the person who approaches each event as if everything comes for them and that there is some benefit or greater good in the experience for them. Their language around this could be, I learned something new. I got great information. I know I don't need to do this again. I found out I need to set clearer boundaries. I need to learn more about this. It set me straight. I never would have known. I'm so much better because of this, etc., etc. I want you to not only hear the difference between those perspectives, I want you to take a moment and feel it viscerally. Feel in your gut how different your thoughts and emotions will be if you consciously chose to use this approach. Can you see how that might change someone from constantly being stuck, being at the mercy of life, to someone who embraced challenging situations and forged ahead powerfully? Remember, your narrative forms your perception, which selects your feeling, which directs your experience, and then we call that the truth. I invite you to empower yourself by reminding yourself on a continuing basis, nothing happens to me, everything comes for me. The world is what you believe it to be, and it changes as you change. I'd also invite you to watch and listen to this video again. Let the words penetrate you more deeply. If you're having reaction to this, if you're feeling you want to argue with what I've said, do watch, do listen, let it soak in. I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong. It is possible you might just find a more empowering way to view the events in your life. And that's probably a good thing, don't you think? Thanks for watching and listening. Bonnie and I are going to have a run and play with the ball now. I'll see you in the next video.